Hi, it's K-Red. Join me on this channel as we find joy in pen and paper by creating simple drawings that anyone can do. Let's get started. I did a peaceful pattern that is called Meckerel, and I have had it on my mind ever since. But in order for me to do it, I need a little help. So what I have decided to do is I'm giving myself some pencil lines. It is something that I often like to do when I am working on a tangle or a Zentangle inspired art, just so that I have a better chance of success. There is no right and wrong. There is no cheating or doing it not right or anything like that. These lines don't have to be exact by any means. They're just there to help me navigate what I want to make. And I think I want a circle in the middle as well that can help me. No, big one, I think. And all this is going to do is help me with my sizing. I don't do well with spatial shapes sometimes. Sometimes I really struggle on being able to tell what is straight across from something or what is even, what is not even. So I'm giving myself this little bit of a cheat to help so that I can be happy with my drawing and I can have the joy of drawing without the internal criticism that I would bet most of us have. I think the pen I'm going to use today is a 5. And as I mentioned, the pattern is called Meckerel. I'm just going to be doing that same pattern over and over again. And if you don't know how, just pop over to my YouTube channel. I'll put a link above here. I'll have a link down below where I do the step out on how to actually draw the pattern. But for me, I'm going to, now that I've got it started, turn on some music, try to find some calm in my day, and just enjoy myself. So we'll see you back when we're done. So I did my drawings. Now I'm erasing my lines. And it just made such a fun shape. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of shading on it. I think this is a pattern that does help a lot with some shading. And the main shading I'm going to do is the over-under on each of these. And I hope you saw how simple that is. Once you had that peaceful pattern down and we understood the pattern that the CZT had taught us, and then on her site she showed this. So this is her design. This is not my creation. As I've mentioned before, I am not a natural artist. I have trouble when I have to try to think of my own things to draw, or when I have to do have it make it look like something. That's not always something I do well, but I do take great inspiration from others and what they do, and I learn by mimicking them and learning from them. The full credit for the art, it goes to the creator, and her name is Hiroko Matao. Hopefully that's close to the correct pronunciation. But the joy and the relaxation that I really needed on some of these hearts, you can see that I am not at my most calm. I am kind of stressed today. I kind of have a stressful day ahead of me, and so I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day and all of that. So it usually comes out in my drawings when I am a little preoccupied, but that is when I find I get the most benefit from this, from taking advantage of somebody else's amazing creativity to be able to think, to come up with not just the design, but placing them around like this. I have developed over the years an understanding that I need some little helps as far as the dimension and the size, which is why the squares are there, so we can kind of get that so that it looks like it's relatively supposed to, with the fun shape from a shape kind of thing. And there's no shame in that, right? We're not giving, I need just a little bit more pencil. I don't have quite enough on this tortilla to do what I'm hoping to do. So let's add just a little bit more to a scrap piece of paper that I have here, and then I can just pull from that. I don't really want to put, oops, I didn't want a dark spot. We'll blend that out in a minute. I didn't really want to put anything too dark onto here. Let's rub a little off of it first. Because I'm wanting it to be, the top to be certainly light and the bottoms underneath to be light, but where it comes in to show a little bit of that valley, I think would be good. So I'm just going to pull up a eraser and we're just going to tab it. I do have a rubber eraser that would probably work a little bit better at that, but I don't want to go and pull it out, so we'll just make do with the eraser that's at hand. The beautiful thing about doodling is all you need is any paper, any pen, any pencil, and you can make it work. A bit of an eraser as a bonus, so you can give yourself the little hints and clean up your things a little bit. I've been fortunate over the years to acquire a couple of different rulers and pencils and things, but in reality, all that is actually needed is any paper, any pen or pencil, and just a little bit of time. Adding it at the bottoms, just the faintest. I'm a little gun shy of this now. I think I got most of it off of it though. At the very bottoms. So we'll probably come back in with one of those little tools I told you about that I've acquired, this Mono Zero eraser, and it's just going to let me clean up, because as I said, I am a little scatterbrained today. I'm a little stressed and not doing the fine work well. That's all right. I'm going to take a little bit of that off of that as well. Kind of erase it on a piece of scratch paper to get it off the eraser. What do you think? Do you like it? Have you tried this? Have you seen this one before? What do you do when you're stressed? When you've had a hectic day, or you're thinking about the appointments you have upcoming and they've got you stressed just a little bit? What what do you do to calm yourself? I played with this fun pattern and it helped. I am feeling better. I hope you all are safe. Please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow. Doesn't cost anything. Just let YouTube know that you're enjoying this content. Some other people can find it. It's my goal to help encourage people who normally would never think they could draw. People like me know that they can find some joy and some satisfaction in drawing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be sorry that I did this. I'm going to get a thick pen. Let me find something like an 8. So I have an 08. I'm going to take a thick pen, and I'm really wanting to play up this outside shape. So I'm going to go through and very carefully trace that outside line. I'm going to stop where the two touch and continue on. It's going to work as like a shade in between, or it's going to work more like, not really in between, but a shade on the outside line of this inner square that was made from that. And I think that's just cute. I like the way that happened. So I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. I'm going to very carefully trace the inside. Try to be a little more careful than I was. I find I do a better job tracing when it's not a specific shape. So for example, tracing the outside heart gets harder because my mind thinks it's a heart, but tracing this inside curve is a little bit easier because there's no expectation. And I like the way it did that. So then now we're going to come back in with the pencil again. And we're going to add some extra weight along this inside, and we're going to diminish in the center. I'm going to make sure it's pretty flat and tortilla. There's not much of a point on this one. I'll reshape that later, but let's just go ahead and grab a different one now. Has a little bit more of a point on it. Pull it all in the middle. I'm doing these lines in. I'm hoping it'll almost look like a streak effect. I don't think I added any pencil there. Let's put a little bit of pencil there. I missed the spot. And my hope now is on these edges to kind of just do away with any lines. And I just have everything coming towards this center. And just really working on smoothing out all of those lines. So I do feel like there should be something in there. So I'm going to go back to my 8 pen and I'm going to do an aura. Being very careful to try very hard to make everything the same width. Now if you go to tanglebanners.com and you see the CZTs, she put a circle in the center and it looks awesome. Looks like a gem. But I was filling an aura on that inside shape, so that's what I did there. And that's done with an 8 pin, so it's done with that real dark pin as well. Now I'm going to come in with a 3, and I'm going to do 2 simple lines on the outside edges. And they're not going to quite touch each other, but depending on how well my spacing is, they'll come close. That one actually did touch. So then we have that. So then it does only seem appropriate to put a heart in the middle, but I am hesitant to put a heart in the middle because I don't want to have to pick which side is up. And as soon as I put a heart in the middle, there'll be an up. So rather than a heart, I tend to be a big fan of a swirl. And if you've seen any of my artwork, you'll usually see some swirls in it. I'm not a big fan of that swirl, so we're going to color it in. Which, if you've seen me do any of my other drawings, you'll find that's not uncommon either. I'll start by partially filling something in, and then I'll decide I don't like it, and I'll fill it in. And I left a little bit of a gap so it could have a little bit of a light source. I like that. What do you think? So now you have to just keep thinking, do I want stuff in these hearts? I kind of do. Don't know what. So what if, let's go down, I don't quite want an 8. Let's go back to our 3. Let's get my favorite circle tools. Let's find a circle that's not too big. We're going to do the 2/8 circle, and I'm going to put the arrow on the point of the heart that's upside down. This is the typical way that my drawings kind of progress and get going, is I start with one thing, and then like this one, I'll shade it, I'll think I'm done, and I'm like, nope, I'd like to do this. And then, oh, what would it look like if I did this? And then maybe I could do that. And it just keeps growing from there. So if that was the 2/8, let's go down to the 1/8 and do a 1/8 on the little hearts. Now obviously you can draw a circle in these without any, I think this is called a helix circle maker, I think is what it's called. You'll see a link in my description. I'm just a little baby channel, so I make no money off of it. I don't, I'm not affiliated. I don't get anything off of it, but I put them in there just so that somebody helped me find it, and that way I can help you find it. And then I think what I would like to do is leading up to that is just to have it look like it's coming down off of a circle chain. And these I will freehand draw. And it can look like maybe there's just a chain of circles falling down. Sometimes I could fit in 3, sometimes I could fit in 4. It's however many fit in. This is screaming that it wants color. But I definitely do not have time in my day to color this, so there will be no color on mine today. But boy, this pattern definitely does want it, doesn't it? All these holes, all these circles. Line these shading smoothed out a little bit. kind of fun. But I don't think I can leave those big circles open. So I'm going to do a small circle and then I'm going to fill them in. And that small circle on each of these is going to be on the top right. Ooh, that became very little of a small circle. Let's see if we can do these bigger. Have to remember that they always get smaller as you color in than when they start. That one's a little bit better. Tiny little circles. I think I'm going to get my eraser and erase the pencil that is inside that black so that it'll shine out. I grabbed a big eraser, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted the little one. More black to make sure we didn't erase it all off. I like it. What do you think? Think I should stop fidgeting with it? That's what I think. This is usually the time where I keep fidgeting with it and I end up making it where it's something that I'm not as happy with. I don't know if any of you do that either. How do you guys know when you're done with a picture? Alright, I think I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you all coming along with me. If I pick this up in a couple of days and color it, I'll make sure I post a new video of it colored in, because there is a piece of me that still wants to add some bright pinks and purples to it. But no time today. Thank you all for joining me. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and please stay safe. Bye.